You guessed it, the video behind me was created by AI. And so I thought this video was very fitting for today's story because you know what? It's some straight up sorcery what has came out today from OpenAI. They introduced their new model called Sora. What can it do? It can generate videos up to 1 minute. And as you can see behind me, this is an example of what it can do. And this was a user submitted prompt on Twitter that Sam Altman took and put through the AI and showed it off to the world. All right, so we'll circle back around to the Twitter thread and show you the videos that Sam Altman produced from those user submitted prompts earlier today. But in front of me, we have the website that OpenAI published today that demonstrates what Sora can do. And they have a bunch of examples on here. One, this main background right here is a video generated by AI. You can see some, what is this? Like paper airplanes and stuff flying through the air. I mean, that's pretty cool. Now, let's talk about what it can do. So essentially, they're teaching the AI to understand and simulate the physical world in motion. The goal of training models that help people solve problems that require real-world interaction. Look, I'm sorry, I see this as some amazing B-roll footage. Everyone can now have some unique B-roll footage for their videos. And I don't know, that's one main use that popped out straight out to me when I saw this. They say introducing Sora, our text-to-video model. Sora can generate videos up to 1 minute long while maintaining visual quality and adherence to the user's prompt. Now, if you've been using like image AI and things like that, you know there's a lot of things that it struggles with. And one of those big things is the limbs. Limbs, hands, sometimes end up with like 6 fingers or just an arm that just is not shaped correctly, things like that. It seems to do really well with like animals and stuff. And I'm seeing the same trends with this video generation. Sora is able to generate complex scenes with multiple characters, specific types of motion, accurate details of the subject and background. The model understands not only what the user has asked for in the prompt, but also how those things exist in the world. So, it has like context essentially to what you're asking. So if you're asking for like an animal, it knows, how those animals interact in the world. It knows the motion and things like that. It has a lot of videos it's been trained on. The model has a deep understanding of language, enabling it to accurately interpret prompts and generate compelling characters that express vibrant emotions. Sora can also create multiple shots within a single generated video that accurately persists characters and visual style. So before we continue, because they talk about weaknesses next, let's look at some of the videos it's generating. So right here, this is actually a really cool one because I like the cinematic look of it. And let's see what the prompt is. The prompt says, a stylish woman walks down a Tokyo street filled with warm, glowing neon and animated city signage. She wears a black leather jacket, a long red dress, black boots, and carries a black purse. She wears sunglasses, red lipstick. She walks confidently and casually. The street is damp and reflective, creating a mirror effect of the colorful lights and many pedestrians walk about. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at the reflection here. This actually does seem to correlate to the building. Just changing a bit, and you get kind of more of a solid light than the shape she had before, but the fact that the light is pretty consistent with following the objects is bouncing off of, it's actually pretty insane. And if we look at her hand, I believe since there's not as much motion here, the hand seems to be fairly accurate. It actually is resting really well in terms of how, someone would actually walk. The face definitely looks really good, especially all the fine details and imperfections. It's not like trying to make it perfect. And I think that, I don't know, that's pretty cool. The hair, I don't know why she's got the little hair messed up in the back, but I guess that's somewhat realistic. Some of that little hand motions seem a little bit forced. And like the boots here, the heels, are they really 100% accurate? Probably not. But look, for like some B-roll footage and for the version 1 of this, it's actually pretty insane. I think it looks really, really good. Then we have some mammoths walking through snowy meadow. Now, I think this is a little bit more icy than snowy, but I get it. You got snow-covered trees, dramatic snow-capped mountains in the distance, mid-afternoon light with wispy clouds and sun high in the distance creates a warm glow. Don't really see the clouds, so it's not perfect, but we definitely can't expect perfection from this. I mean, this is miles beyond a lot of the things we have so far. This scene is actually pretty sick. Looking at the physics of the water, it's pretty darn nice. They got those physics pretty good. Now this wave, I think these rocks disappeared. This rock right here, doesn't really come back. Some of them do though. It's like you can't keep up with all of them. Then we got an animated scene features a close-up of a short fluffy monster kneeling beside melting red candle. I mean, that's melting, pretty accurate. Gets a little closer, and then his head tilts down and looks like he would catch on fire, but hey, it gets the point across. That flame is definitely not realistic at all, and it almost seemed like it just kind of gave up at that point. What is this? Rendered paper craft of coral reef. Now this is cool. This is pretty darn cool. Basically a paper style of a coral reef. Nice. All right. This is definitely like photorealistic. Victoria crown pigeon, striking blue plumage, red chests. Man, that looks very real. This is actually hard to tell the difference between AI and a real. I could definitely be convinced that someone actually recorded that. That's pretty cool. Now this looks pretty sick too. Those little wave crashes, again, the physics there, not 100%, but definitely not bad at all. The tilt is good there. It seems to be going correctly with some of the waves. Now, how it got back there, I don't really know. But it says they're supposed to be battling each other. I don't really see that happening, but pretty cool. And then the front of that one is really weird. Oh, that just, whatever that was, disappeared, maybe? What was that? So it turns around. This little front piece disappeared, and then it's kind of changed. Interesting. I think it disappeared. Yeah, that. And the flag is magically moving to the front. That's actually freaky, whatever it did there. Some guy reading a book. Again, very realistic, but definitely some of the motion is a little bit off. Anyway, okay, so we're getting lost there in the videos. I think that's all pretty cool. Let's take a look at the weaknesses of Sora. Current model has weaknesses that may struggle with accurately simulating the physics of a complex scene and may not understand specific instances of cause and effect. For example, a person might take a bite out of a cookie, but afterward the cookie may not have a bite mark. Okay, it kind of makes sense. Some things just don't line up appropriately. It doesn't necessarily know exactly what's supposed to happen in the scene based on the information you gave it. I mean, I get it. The model may also confuse spatial details. Okay, I think this is kind of like what we saw with those ships a second ago. When it turned, it just kind of lost perspective and kind of redrew the ship essentially, and that flag just kind of shifted around, and then the ship just kind of still looked like it was the same as it was when it was turned around. So we kind of get that there, but in terms of what it can do, it's still amazing. I mean, for some quick b-roll and, you know, just generating some unique videos, short videos, it's pretty freaking awesome. I think this is amazing. This is one of the most jaw-dropping things I've seen from the AI scene recently. This is absolutely insane. Then they talk about safety. So this is one thing. You're thinking video creation. People are trying to jailbreak, do things that they're not supposed to do in these AIs, and it's going to be the same thing with this. So they, of course, are taking their safety precautions. This is only available to testers at this point, and they want to make sure that you're not able to create, you know, extreme violence, sexual content, hateful imagery, things like that, celebrity likenesses. I think this is already kind of an issue with the AI art generation, but at the same time, I guess, I don't know. I think the way it can handle people is a little bit far off. I don't know. Hopefully in the next year or two, it'll improve more, but the way the hands and stuff move, it's a very hard thing to get right. But that's why more simplistic things like animals and things like that are just a little bit easier. You got like a paw, there's not as much movement. All you really got to do is the walking and things like that, and it's a lot better. I think there was a video of a dog walking across something. Might have been on the generated ones from Sam Altman, but this one definitely caught my eye as well. One thing here with the physics, like you would think the dirt would come up more from the tires directly, but it loses that in some cases. But otherwise, this is actually a pretty cool looking vehicle. I don't know what it came from. It came from multiple vehicles. The side view there kind of a little bit off. But if you're just looking at this, even from like a little bit of a distance, it's pretty darn good. Like you would have to really take a good look at it to really know that, hey, this is not real, which is pretty insane. All right, now this one is actually pretty cool. This shows, like, watch this. So we come up to this building, boom, you see the reflection more. That's a pretty interesting camera effect, you know, like when you get that reflection, but then when you're going across something darker, you see more of the reflection. The fact that it generated that is pretty insane. The background here seems to stay consistent with these shadows. You can even see our face too. Man, that I don't know. I know this is like a very simplistic thing. It's just like riding by, but that's pretty sick. right, so finally, before we get into seeing the tweets, let's look at the research behind this. Like, what exactly is this built on? So Sora is a diffusion model. So we have quite a few diffusion models out there, like for images. So it starts with the video as static and noisy, and it will gradually transform it. So if you use some image generation, sometimes you'll see how it starts with some colors and a little bit blurry. It'll become clearer and clearer. This works the same way. It's capable of generating entire videos all at once, or extending generated videos to make them longer. By giving the model foresight of many frames at a time, we've solved a challenging problem of making sure a subject stays in the same even when it goes out of view temporarily. So I think that's kind of like what that was with the little subway car or whatever going by, and you saw how the person in that background that was just a shadow came into view and then went back to a shadow, but it stayed the same. Like the shape stayed the same. It didn't really transform. And, you know, I'm assuming she technically looked the same throughout the shot. Similar to GPT models, Sora uses a transformer architecture, unlocking superior scaling performance. We represent videos and images as collections of smaller units of data called patches, each of which is akin to a token in GPT. By unifying how we represent data, we can train diffusion transformers on a wider range of visual data than was possible before, spanning different durations, resolutions, and aspect ratios. That's pretty cool. But I'm guessing that means they're going to charge somewhat kind of like on a pixel basis, but like a patch is probably a collection of pixels. So Sora was built on past research in DALL-E and GPT models. It's taking from both of those, working in similar fashions, but it says, you know, as a result, the model is able to follow the user's text instructions and generate a video more faithfully. Finally, Sora serves as a foundation for models that can understand and simulate the real world, a capability we believe will be an important milestone for achieving AGI. Now, AGI is probably where the more scary versions of AI come from. That is artificial general intelligence. So essentially an AI that can teach itself and takes on its own thinking. And that one I definitely have a little bit more concern for. I don't know how close we are to that. Nothing so far really scares me in AI, but getting to that point probably would start to scare me a little bit. And I don't know. We got to be careful about that. We got to look out for that. But for now, I mean, this stuff is so cool. Oh, here we go. Here's the dog walking across the thing. And I think that this just goes to show the physics are still like a little bit off, but for the most part, he's stepping there, he's stepping there. It shows the surface. He's staying on the ledge. That's pretty sophisticated. So now let's take a look at the Twitter threads from Sam Altman. So he posted and said, you know, send me or post your prompts in the comment. We'll process some of them. So here we have a bicycle race on ocean with different animals as athletes riding the bicycles with drone camera view. That, yeah, I mean, that's pretty darn accurate. It's interesting how this like turtle, it doesn't even have handlebars. Look, it's just like getting supported and pedaling his way through. Now, some of them have, are they supposed to be shoes or feet? I don't know. Very interesting. I don't know what that is. I don't know what the dolphin's doing. That looks more like the actual person back there. Either way, it's interesting. Let's see how it does with these physics here. We got instructional cooking session, homemade gnocchi, hosted by grandmother, social media influencers, set in a rustic Tuscan country kitchen with cinematic lighting. All right, let's take a look at this. So those hands, hand movement, not terrible, but how did she just pick up that spoon and it disappeared? The spoon just disappeared. And wait, did the spoon appear? Oh, she's a magician. The spoon came out of her hand. That's sick. Okay, so I mean, definitely struggles with some stuff, but that was still cool. That cracked me up. 2 golden retrievers podcasting on top of a mountain. Now keep in mind, there's no audio with these. They just simply generate the video. So why they're sharing a mic, even though they have 2 mics, but doesn't realize that they're talking. But hey, I get it. They got the headphones on. That's actually pretty cool. The headphones staying on, and they're on the right spot. I mean, that's an important thing too. The tripod, the stand. This is actually pretty good. It's pretty good depiction. I'm not finding anything too terribly wrong there. Like I said, does better with animals and their limbs. And even the wind is fine. Oh, there's at the tail. I don't know. Either way, that looks cool. It says futuristic drone race at sunset on the planet Mars. Sun is setting. Planet Mars, futuristic, kind of like cyberpunk vibe from these little pillars and things. Why these three are perfectly in sync, I don't know, but hey, it's cool, interesting. A half duck, half dragon flies through a beautiful sunset with a hamster dressed in adventure gear on his back. What do you guys be thinking about? The hamster is like half hamster, half human. And this wing seems to have a foot on it. And it's flying backward. A lot of things wrong here, but good effort, I guess. Oh man, street level tour through a futuristic city. City should be clean with advanced future trams, beautiful fountains, giant holograms everywhere, robots all over. Let's see what this is. So you're moving kind of fast. You can't even see these things too good, but definitely a futuristic city. I don't see the trams, the road, the reflections, pretty cool. I like the tree. The buildings look cool. It's like something you'd see in a movie, but definitely interesting. Oh, now we got the half duck, half dragon again. Why is it still flying backwards? It's those physics aren't perfect. And then this guy is, wow, it looked like he was facing backwards and he's facing forward. That's, I don't know. It's not doing too good with these imaginative things. This video I had on the beginning is a wizard wearing a pointed hat and blue robe with white stars casting a spell that shoots lightning from his hand, holding an old tomb in his other hand. So, not bad, honestly. And because of the lightning, it kind of covers up anything that's happening with the hand that's not really perfect. So that's kind of cool. Don't hold back on detail or difficulty. Well, it kind of missed the mark with the duck dragon thing. What else we got here? Okay, so that's the one we saw. Is that all we posted? I don't know. There might be some more somewhere else, but I think that's enough for today. This was actually a really cool feature. I can't wait for this to be more publicly accessible. Was this? No, this guy is supposed to. I don't think this isn't real, is it? Or is he part of the red team? Could be real. Bling Zoo. Oh, look at the turtle with the bling on his leg. Why is he eating diamonds? Oh, that monkey just created another hand. Okay, yeah, maybe this was generated with AI. What is this? Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Only $200. So there you have it. Sora is coming. Future of B-roll is almost here. I think this is going to be pretty crazy. Be able to create little B-roll videos to put in longer videos. I would definitely 100% be using it. We'll be coming out with some videos on how to use it, maybe a little bit of prompting technique. I want to come out with some prompting technique in general. Make sure you guys are following the channel as I try to narrow in on what we're doing right now. We're covering some news, and I will be getting into reviewing some different applications that are out there, and we'll go from there. I think this is really cool. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video.